by Grace, Singer, and Islandnet Services.
Building trust for generations.
Celebrating 55 years.
The time by Sagicor is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
When we are working together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment you share is finger licking good.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, Transport Minister warns against politicizing school buses. BGLC marks 50th anniversary with emphasis on merger and modernization. In Tech Pulse, we are farming the future, exploring how innovation is reshaping agriculture in dry seasons. And in sports, Windies lick their wounds after Australian whitewash. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Tuesday, July 29, 2025. Thanks so much for having joined us. I'm Nika Lewis. Concerns are mounting over the use of the government's rural school buses after videos surfaced showing what appears to be political supporters aboard. While the opposition is accusing the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, of politicizing the initiative, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz is urging leaders on both sides to keep politics out of the program. Carla Ramdeen reports.
Videos recently surfaced showing what appear to be JLP supporters aboard the new rural school buses, sparking concerns from the opposition and members of the wider public. Since the development, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz has urged politicians to avoid politicizing the rural school bus tour. In a statement Tuesday, Minister Vaz says the buses are meant to benefit all children, regardless of political affiliation. Opposition spokesman on transport, Michael Phillips, agrees that it should remain nonpartisan, but says it was the JLP who turned it into a political spectacle.
But what we have seen are images of individuals, including my own constituency. I was never called. I was never notified that the bus was coming to Northwest Manchester. And it was the representative of the Jamaica Labour Party who met the bus in New Green and decided to parade the bus around the constituency with persons clad in party paraphernalia.
Minister Vaz clarifies that the program was designed to help parents save on transportation costs. He notes also that the ministry has a duty to respond to requests from elected members of parliament to showcase the bus's safety and functionality within their communities. However, Phillips contends the bus system should be headed by the schools and the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC.
Now, the concern that we have is how is it that we expect children to utilize these buses after we have politicized the whole school bus program. It is sad. It's a sad day, and I'm very disappointed in the response from Darrell Vaz.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
The People's National Party says their work over the years should not be undermined by the governing Jamaica Labour Party. This sentiment, among others, was expressed to supporters at their parish meeting in St. Thomas. Our reporter Kevin Black provides the details.
It tells me that the People's National Party and its leadership in St. Thomas is ready for victory.
People's National Party PNP caretaker for St. Thomas Eastern, Councillor Yvonne Rosemary Shaw, shared a historical insight into the PNP's social programs of old. She used these previous political undertakings to illustrate the support given to the nation by the PNP over the years. She told her supporters at a PNP parish meeting in St. Thomas that upon regaining power, the Golding-led administration can potentially restore a sense of decency and order to the country.
People. They were placed at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Youngsters were placed at the tax office. We had Jamal that Michael Manley brought in. They were placed there. Eastern St. Thomas and Western St. Thomas. I am imploring you tonight to bring back a semblance of order and decency to this parish.
Former Minister of Health Dr. Fenton Ferguson also chimed in to support Shaw's points.
Many persons don't know that Paul Bogle High School was the first standalone junior high school to be built in the country. We send thousands of your children to school, starting from basic school to high school to university.
Shaw also briefly addressed the perceived high level of unemployment there, which persists in the parish. She believes that more opportunities for individuals would become widely available under the PNP administration.
I think the national average of unemployment, we top that average here in St. Thomas. Our women primarily have no work. When you look at the trade training centers, you have one out by license that was established under the auspices of the People's National Party.
The People's National Party maintained that their work over the years hasn't gone unnoticed, a sentiment it said will influence Election Day in their favor. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Portland residents are reportedly set to receive improved water supply in a myriad of communities. This information comes from Minister with responsibility for water Matthew Samuda as he spoke with Jamaica Labour Party supporters in the parish. Our reporter has more.
We will tell you about how you connect to NWC formally.
Portland is in luck as Minister with responsibility for water Matthew Samuda announced the commissioning of water supply for multiple communities in the parish. Speaking at the JLP East and West Portland Gospel Concert at the weekend, Samuda highlighted the JLP's work is evident as he attempted to spark a sense of confidence in the upcoming elections.
We'll be commissioning the new Eden water supply for $43 million and the Cascade water supply for $30 million Jamaican dollars.
Minister Samuda maintains that the JLP government can safely say that over 350,000 Jamaicans received improved water supplies over the last 9 years. He went further, adding that this delivery was extended to almost every township in the island.
You see, Labour rights, we come to you with a record of work. We come to you with a long list of project delivery. Back in the day, the PNP would have come to you 3 months before election and tell you, say, Disneyland, I go build a port and tour. They would have tell you, say, we are go to Mars next month. But they couldn't tell you what they had done.
And it was a proud Samuda who reminds the JLP constantly restored water to the needy during their tenure. Their next move to reduce the number of persons accessing water by illegal means.
Your Prime Minister announced an amnesty last year, November, which has already benefited over 10,000 Jamaicans, pensioners, the disabled, part beneficiaries. We have written off over $1 billion Jamaican dollars of debt of poor people and reconnected them back to NWC. We know there are hundreds of communities that connect to water but not connect to NWC. very, very soon, we will tell you about how you connect to NWC formally.
Minister Samuda is hoping that the water developments can flood voters island-wide towards the JLP on election day. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
There's growing tension among taxi operators in Trelawney ahead of the new school term. The recent announcement of a rural school bus initiative has sparked concerns among some drivers who say they were not consulted and now fear a significant dip in income. Akeem Art tells us more.
With the new school term fast approaching, taxi operators in Trelawney are on edge. The government's introduction of a rural school bus system intended to improve student transportation has instead stirred unrest among some who rely heavily on student fares. Kevin Small is one of several operators who says the lack of consultation adds insult to injury. Many claim they were never invited to the table when the plan was being crafted.
So when they come now and, carrying all the children there, what are we supposed to do? So it tells us clearly that the government doesn't care about us as taximen. In terms of, if they had care, they would have come and dialogue with us first. Hear what we have to say. Don't just go ahead and do things and just show us out of it, as if they don't see us as important stakeholders as well.
But while some operators are concerned about losing business, others like Andrew Stevenson are concerned about students getting home on time.
I will if a school people they want to go home, and then they have to go home. Just have to get police in the park to send them home out of park. It's only if the school bus come, it's better for them. It's better for them by far.
The government touted the new school bus system as aimed at improving safety and cost efficiency for students. But as the rollout nears, some taxi operators say they feel pushed out of a system they have long supported. Akeem Art, CVM News.
There's so much more. CVM News at 7 after these.
We a bucket together when everybody out. Fried chicken we a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online.
Bucket together to the new dance craze. Taste explosion bursting with flames.
When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment to share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come make we bucket together. Hey, bucket together, bucket together.
Ready to take the next step? With the UWI Global Campus, your future is just a click away, no matter where you are in the world. Choose from flexible online and blended degrees, plus continuing and professional education programs, all at your own pace. Join a global network of leaders, innovators, and change makers, all backed by the prestige of a top-ranked regional university. The UWI Global Campus. Connect, learn, succeed.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.
Thanks so much for staying with us. In recent times, we've been hearing of people being deported from the United States to countries like Jamaica. Very often, the intricate details are missing. Well, Carlin Brown, in a series Unlawfully Deported, tries to get the raw truth from individuals affected.
The system right now in terms of deportation is so muddled and not really organized, because it is a numbers game right now, getting as many people deported as possible. And so people who shouldn't even get, have gotten caught up in it.
I came with nothing, just the clothes on my back, my property that I went to jail with. Big yellow envelope, chain, mesh, red bag, clothes on my back, and my cell phone.
As much as we have been able to put all of this together for individuals to know how they can go about getting their IDs, etc., and this is something that we created so that it can help them, it's of no use to him because he's still not a citizen.
Well, my name is Jermaine Amani Thomas, and I had some charges trumped up on me back in Killeen, Texas, for criminal trespassing, which led to me being detained in Bell County Jail, and then from there, immigration detainer, ICE warrant, a hold was placed on me, and I was taken to Conroe Immigration Facility, and from there I was illegally trafficked or kidnapped, deported, should you say, to here, Jamaica, without any travel documents. I've been here going on a little bit over 2 months now.
What nationality are you?
I'm a U.S. citizen born abroad. I was born in Frankfurt, Germany, 97 General Hospital. My dad was in the U.S. Army. He served for 18 years and 10 months.
What traced you to Jamaica, I'm wondering?
My father was born here, but he naturalized and became a United States citizen in 1984, 2 years before I was born.
What about your mom?
She's from Kenya. She was born in Kenya. I don't know why they didn't choose her country.
Misunderstandings about citizenship, the trauma from separations, and much more to come directly from individuals unlawfully deported.
It doesn't matter the color, it doesn't matter the size, we all need justice.
The quiet hum of Tuesday's dawning hours on Waltham Park Road was violently interrupted by a raging inferno as one establishment was engulfed in a massive blaze. Emergency services enforced road closures and effected cooling down operations well into the afternoon. Crystal Williams tells us more.
Orange heat and black smoke arrested the Kingston sky, forcing road closures and snarling traffic on Waltham Park Road on Tuesday. At 7:03 a.m., reports were made that a raging fire consumed Marriott's auto parts store, sparking widespread concern.
Upon arrival, we saw fire confined to 2 40-foot containers and 2 20-foot containers.
Assistant Commissioner of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Julian Davis Buckle, reported that the containers stored car parts, oils, and other flammable lubricants, which fueled the flames as they spread.
There's oil on the roadway, and that is the secondary problem we had. We used foam and we used water, and because of that, the oil that was stored in the containers, in the plastic containers, they would have got melted and spilled.
A lumber yard nearby provided sand and other materials to assist in containing the blaze and its contributors. However, much of the roadway was still saturated with oil. Emergency services found the need to restrict the roadway in order to ensure the safety of road users.
So we contacted NWA and we got a truck of sand. And as we speak, our firefighters are there from halfway tree spreading that sand to cover the roadway.
Motorists and pedestrians from the area will be notified when the road is safe enough to be used once again. Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, has launched a new route connecting downtown Kingston to Mandeville, Manchester, and passengers are already weighing in on the service. Raymond Morrison reports.
Based on what I'm seeing here, we sit comfortable. We are not getting any squeeze or breathing space and everything. More seats in the bus and we feel more cool and relaxed. So that is great for us. We are not getting any squeeze up on each other. So don't relax in your own seat and, we're comfortable.
For Mandeville travelers, it's out with the coaster bus and in with the JUTC, a new route. And for many residents, a brand new experience.
Yeah, it's the first time still that I really see this bus come on down here. I'm glad to see it, we can watch and maybe ride more comfortable. So I just love it.
Well, the time is very convenient for me because when you have this now, once the bus everyone is seated, the bus we will leave. But in on the transportation, otherwise, on the coaster bus, we have to be waiting on everyone to come into the bus in the seats, so before we can get to go to work. Those who are working in Kingston from Mandeville are going to school, so it is very convenient.
The 512 route, running 3 times daily between downtown Kingston and Mandeville, offers competitive rates and special discounts for persons with disabilities. The JUTC says this is just the start of a much broader plan to meet commuters' needs.
Based on the commuters this morning, we see that it is really welcome, it is really needed, and we are happy to be the ones who are providing this service.
But the company isn't stopping here. Routes to Negril, Port Antonio, Ocho Rios, and Montego Bay are in the pipeline as the company moves to expand its long-haul offerings. And Manchester Central MP Rhodamoy Crawford says the new route is adding options, not replacing existing ones.
What this is doing is providing an alternative transportation means to the people of this constituency and the parish in general. And it's not cutting into the regular taxi and bus operators because they too are leaving full and leaving at their time. And remember, the bus is not running consistently. So even so, in between those hours, the bus operators will be able to also carry out their loads. I want to commend the government of Jamaica and Minister Darrell Vaz for pushing through and for bringing this service to Mandeville. It's well needed, much needed, and it is truly appreciated.
According to the JUTC and the authorities, the new bus route is a sigh of relief for passengers and a chance to travel in comfort, on time, and without hassle. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
Stay with us. More news in just a moment.
Denbigh Show 71. The Jamaica Agricultural Society, in association with the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, presents Denbigh 71, August 1 to 3, 2025. Denbigh Showgrounds, Mape and Clarendon. It's a family affair, from livestock competitions, agricultural displays, National Farm Queen competition, Kiddies Village, Health and Wellness Village, and much more. Closing the show is the High Pro Denbigh Gospel Extravaganza. Admission adults 1,500, children 600 at the gate. Denbigh 71, August 1 to 3. You don't want to miss this.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Thanks so much for staying with us. As Jamaica braces for prolonged drought, the intersection of agriculture and technology is becoming more urgent and more promising. This week on Tech Pulse, we spotlight the tools, systems, and strategies helping farmers beat the heat and grow sustainably. Let the digging begin.
This week in Tech Pulse, we explore climate-smart, agri-friendly tech options that have been changing the game for farmers in dry seasons. And boy, is this quite the time for solutions, given Jamaica's recent plight and warning of an unusual dry spell likely to reign for several months. The technology takes us first to Kenya, where in 2024, a Youth Ecopreneur Award winner, Marianne, and her company Agritech Analytics used artificial intelligence, yes, AI, to safeguard agriculture from dry spells.
So my name is Marianne Gishanga. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Agritech Analytics, a company incorporated in Kenya. We leverage the use of AI-powered satellite imagery and IoT sensors to halt and reverse soil degradation, crop pest and diseases with the aim of helping farmers increase their yields. It was very hard to convince farmers what AI is to begin with. How will I be able to surveil my farm when I'm not actually in the farm? So there was a lot of skepticism when it comes to telling people that using technology you can actually be able to farm, and not just anyone, smallholder farmers. So it was such a big challenge for us at Agritech. Educating the farmer is very important. We started training these farmers on what climate change is, on how their activities can actually affect the land that they are farming. So we teach them sustainable farming practices, the proper use of chemicals. We help them to go back to organic farming. We also train these farmers on their soil health and the importance of soil testing.
Meanwhile, India has used traditional methods of agriculture for generations. But with 1.4 billion people now dependent on the crops farmers produce, some are turning to technology to boost productivity and profit.
With sensor devices on his vineyard that check weather and soil health and uses artificial intelligence to figure out when to water the crops, add fertilizer and tackle pests. Nitin then receives a precise advisory on a mobile app.
This vineyard where we are now, it has no groundwater sources, and we are growing these vines with the water that we purchase from outside tankers. With the help of this AI data, we are now able to irrigate them only at the crucial stage. And that's helping us to save around 50% of the water that we used to give before.
Built in India's Silicon Valley, Bangalore by startup Fussell Agritech, the service has led to a near 25% boost in productivity on crops like grapes and guavas.
And finally, in talking tech for sustainability, we head to Nigeria, where dry farming techniques are lauded by the local farmers, something with which our neighbors up north are relating.
Well, as far as dry years, we actually prefer them because we would rather water than have a wet year where we get more disease.
So what about the cost of irrigating the crops?
Our spray costs are up in a wet year and our water bills are up in a dry year, so really they balance out pretty even for us.
While Williams Farm is lucky to be equipped with an irrigation system during dry stretches, Pietrocola says other farms without irrigation will have a tougher time.
We actually have to irrigate the berries. Even though it's cold, the process of freezing heats the plants and actually will be warmer in the frozen berry than it will be if we let it frost on them.
Beyond just watering the crops when the weather is dry, the irrigation system has an added benefit that is beneficial on cold mornings.
So much to consider and talk about as we reimagine a future with climate change and agriculture. That's it for Tech Pulse, reminding the future is now.
Right now we have Jordan Fort joining us for a quick look ahead to sports.
Well, Nika, yesterday when I was here, I told you that the West Indies would have been trying to stave off a 5-0 series whitewash at the hands of Australia in their 50-20. Well, that was not the case, unfortunately for West Indies fans. They went down 5-0 to Australia. So 5-0 in the T20 series, 3-0 in the Test series. Not good reading. We're going to hear from the West Indies captain and others as to why that was the case. And plus, we're looking forward to lots of other things in sports. We're going to have a regular Where Are They Now feature as well.
All right. So lots to look forward to, but stay with us after the break.
Truth is, HIV affects everyone. Truth is, avoiding care leads to a weaker immune system. That means you could get really sick. The truth is, the hardest pill to swallow isn't the medication. It's the problems that follow when you don't take them. Let's get through this together. Remain in care. You can live life to the fullest with HIV. And that's the truth. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Let's delve deep into the issues.
we'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
The time by KFC is 7:30.
Welcome back. Let's take a look now at what's trending online.
So, what's getting the most attention online today? Well, it's been 3 years since Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness first announced that the government was eyeing southwestern Jamaica for the development of a new city. And he's now indicated that this is likely to be established in St. Elizabeth. Here's how the public is responding. Chels_love comments. This makes no sense to me. St. Elizabeth is the breadbasket parish. It's called that for a reason. A city would mean removing trees for development, clearing land that would have been used for farming. Will Ryan Wilson adds, sounds good. At least the roads there can get the needed attention. 1 cent best. Nitram says, road before city. Please. Now Coco.Goddess writes, I don't see anything wrong with this. St. Elizabeth is beautiful and would be very deserving to become the 3rd city. Now Yellow.Flame comments, so Hanover just gonna remain the forgotten parish? LOL, Jaja. Now Rich says, I love the parish. It's a great parish, but the idea of being a 3rd city is a no-no. Whoever thought of such idea is myopic. And that's what's happening online. Share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV, on Instagram at CVM_television, and on Facebook at CVM Television. I'm Amoy Harriet. Walk good and take care.
Now to regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. A Colombian court has convicted former President Alvaro Uribe of witness manipulation, making him the country's first ex-leader to be found guilty of a crime. The ruling was issued on Monday. More from Telesur English.
A Colombian court has found the country's former president, Alvaro Uribe, guilty of witness tampering. Uribe, who served as president from 2002 to 2010, was convicted on Monday of trying to persuade witnesses to lie for him in a separate investigation, and the prosecutor is asking for a 9-year prison sentence. The case dates back to 2012, when Uribe accused the left-wing Senator Ivan Cepeda of hatching a plot to falsely link him to right-wing paramilitary groups in the country. The court decided against prosecuting Cepeda and pursued his claims against Uribe, who becomes Colombia's first ever former head of state to be convicted of a crime.
And in international news, at least 30 people have died in Beijing and more than 80,000 were evacuated to safety, Chinese authorities said, as heavy rains and floods ravage roads and houses in northern China. With more, here's the BBC.
In the mountains around Beijing, there's been a mass mobilisation involving the People's Armed Police and other emergency teams. As you can probably see behind me, there's a roadblock here, and there are many like this all around the Miyun Reservoir, stopping people from entering the worst hit areas. The government's view is that there have already been too many people dying in this disaster. They don't want more names added to that terrible list. We've just come from a relief centre. There are 400 people there. Now, they're staying in dormitories, they're being given food, and they're pretty happy that they're now in a safer place, and they're just waiting to be able to go back in a few days' time after the flooding recedes a bit. Down in the city, ordinary citizens have been told not to come to work, but up here in the mountains, it's more a question of the authorities controlling all the roads, controlling where people are going.
And that's it for regional and international news.
Ahead of the break, your weather report.
Everybody out, fried chicken with a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online. Bucket together to the new dance craze. Taste explosion bursting with flex. When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment to share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come make we bucket together. Bucket together, bucket together.
Getting the keys to your own home is a feeling many cannot describe. It's a moment we all hope for, and a dream that all Jamaicans have. The new social housing program is the difference between a dream and reality. The government, through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, is building hope, one home at a time.
Join us next week when we conclude our discussion on the growth of Chocolate Dreams and how it has benefited from various initiatives undertaken by the Tourism Enhancement Fund, the TEF, through the Tourism Linkages Network.
Welcome to Sports. I'm Jordan Fort. Now, West Indies were put out of their misery as their discombobulation against Australia continued on Tuesday night at Warner Park in St. Kitts, going down by 3 wickets to the tourists in the 5th and final match in their T20 series, surrendering the series without winning even a single match. The win sealed the first T20 series sweep by an Australian men's team in the West Indies and saw them end the tour with a perfect 8-0 record after a similar sweep in the 3-test series. Sent to bat after losing another toss. By the way, the West Indies lost all the tosses. The West Indies were bowled out for 170, a total due in large part due to Shimron Hetmar's 52 of 31 balls, as Ben Dwarshuis took 3 for 41. The Caribbean men had a glimmer of hope as they had the Aussies on the back foot at 25 for 3, but Cameron Green 32 from 18, Tim David at 12 ball 30 and Mitch Owen 37 from 17 steadied the ship to guide the visitors home with 3 overs to spare. 173 for 7 the winning total.